Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Friday, the 3rd of March, and we are one day from heading out to PDAC. Paul, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you, and getting prepared to pack my bags. How about you?
Yeah, the same. Yeah, thinking about packing. Right, there's a bit of news out this morning. Should we start with Apollo Silver and their maiden ESG report?
Yes, that's right. They have published a first ESG report, Apollo Silver, the TSX listed California Silver Explorer. This ESG report was compiled using the private firm or Canadian firm Onion Corporation's software solution. It's an online ESG platform for documenting your criteria around the ESG standards and support that you otherwise use. Some of the highlights from Apollo's own work was that demonstrating that they had about a third of their total employees and contractors are women within the group. Their health and safety record is exemplary with no fatalities or lost time work-related injuries in the past year. And all of the directors have had anti-corruption training as part in the past year toward meeting those TSX and otherwise EU and North American required regulatory rules. And no instances of any non-compliance with environmental regulations in the past year at this point. So it's been a very clean exploration story for Apollo out in California.
Yeah, and as you say, based in California, I think although ESG is obviously becoming much more important across the industry, if you're in a jurisdiction like California, demonstrating a track record from the start of full compliance and across these different areas is going to benefit you down the line with permitting and that sort of thing.
Yes, and any debt that you might otherwise have to take on as part of a mine development, because you have all this compliance information, it's more than likely that you would get a lower debt interest rate than a firm that did not have similar reporting.
Yeah. News from Cerrado Gold today, amending their previous agreement with Sprott.
Yes, this is a little bit of growth on the existing Sprott loan and royalty terms that they have concerning their project out in Argentina. Sprott Private Resource Streaming and Royalty is the one which has a royalty and stream on their gold production. And Cerrado has expanded that to include the Los Calandrias heap leach project and that acreage where the production is expected to start within a matter of weeks now. And as a contribution to that, doing that deal, Sprott has given Cerrado an additional $10 million worth of funding in working capital.
Yep. So that seems positive there. A fundraise for new potash story, Millennial Potash, from the management team that were successful with Millennial Lithium.
Yes, that's right. Millennial Potash, TSX listed, and they have a sedimentary potash property there in Gabon, the West African nation. Fundraise here was oversubscribed, $3.6 million raised on the issue of 7.2 million units, and those units being priced there with a common share and a 1/2 share warrant with a full warrant at $1 per share and the individual shares at 75 cents. Now these funds will go specifically toward the Banyo Potash project in Gabon for general working capital purposes. That said, Millennial Potash also has a gold project in far northwest Arizona in the historic Weaver Mining District, but we don't hear too much about that, but we will in coming months, I think.
Yeah, quite a different project, the potash one to Emerson from a geological standpoint, but playing on quite a lot of the same macro themes in terms of shorter shipping distance to South America and other key agricultural regions than, say, Canada or Russia for potash, so slightly cheaper access to the market. But yeah, new story there, so one to watch. Anything else, Paul?
Thought I would mention here that the first two batches of assays are back from TimCorp Metals Porvenir tin, zinc, silver re-assaying project, that project being in Bolivia. When they took over the property, there was still roughly 5,000 meters of core, of which 24,000 meters of it had not been assayed. So kind of a waste of money there. And but the section that had been assayed in these holes previously had shown high-grade tin and silver mineralization. So they thought it would be a good idea just to see whether or not the geologists who had been trying to visually identify silver and tin mineralization were in fact not that successful. And that is the case. The historic geologists ignored mineralization that was either disseminated or in stringer vein arrays in the wall rock of these core holes. And just an example is 60 meters grading 0.66% tin and 1.4% zinc with 6 grams of silver per ton. So that would have a silver equivalent grade of 322 grams per ton. So definitely ore grade material this now. Now they've got over half of this core yet to get assays back on. So there will be more interesting information back from them on Porvenir, I'm sure.
All right. Okay. Well, Paul, we'll call it a day there, and I don't think we'll be around for the first couple of days next week, as we will be at PDAC. So
That's
we'll
right.
Be back with some thoughts on how the conference went next week.
Very good. See you then.
Thanks, Paul.
Mm-hmm.